Adam Daniels, 33, was the owner of a small but successful woodworking business. He worked on staircase projects, designing aesthetic and functional staircases for wealthy clients. After years of dedication, his clientele consisted mostly of wealthy homeowners, hotels, and restaurants. Each was willing to pay more than $30,000 for a custom staircase. One Thursday afternoon, when he returned to the garage after a busy day, his thoughts were focused on his work. But when she saw the car in the driveway, she knew something was wrong. Usually Sarah worked late on Fridays. When she went inside, the silence of the house made her uneasy. The sound of running water came from the kitchen. When she opened the door, she was shocked by the sight. Sarah was sitting at the table. In front of her was a man she didn't recognize. The man was dressed smartly, with a confident demeanor. The arrogant grin on his face made Adam's blood run cold. "Listen to me, Adam," the man said, a mocking tone in his voice. "Your wife will be with me now. Her choice." Adam's anger surged. The war inside him was screaming to get out. But he paused for a moment. "Sarah, is this really your choice?" he asked. The uncertainty in his eyes restored Adam's hope. Continuing to smile, he said, "This has nothing to do with you anymore. She has free will and I'm enforcing it," he said. "You're not going anywhere." "Sarah," he said sternly, trying to control all the anger inside him. His eyes wandered to his wife's eyes. There was something more than indecision in Sarah's gaze. At that moment she realized she had to make a decision. "If you choose to stay with him, everything will change for me," he said. The uncertainty in Sarah's eyes deepened. He wanted to hug her, but everything was so complicated that she didn't know what to do. Suddenly, the man picked Sarah up and pulled her close. "Let's put an end to this. An ordinary man like you can't stop me," he said. The man felt a fire inside him. He clenched his fists as anger swept through his body. "Someone like you can't come into my house," he shouted. At that moment, the horror in Sarah's gaze fueled Adam's anger even more. "One more step and I won't leave you here," he said. In that moment, he realized that the balance of everything had shifted. He wanted to stand by Sarah, but he didn't know how to stand in the face of this man's threat and arrogance. As time passed, the conflict within Sarah became more and more apparent. Adam decided to go back to work. He had to take control of everything now. He focused on his projects, lost in new designs and the demands of wealthy clients. However, the emptiness inside him was filled with longing for Sarah. One Friday, when Sarah knocked on his door again, Adam was filled with despair. "Can I come in?" he asked. There was a twinkle in her eye, but she still looked uncertain. Adam invited her in. "I mean a lot to you," he said, "but you need to make a decision about whether to leave her or not." Sarah took a deep breath. "I love you too, but I have to be there for him." From that moment on, their relationship became more complicated. Sarah was trying to release the pressure of her relationship with this man, while Adam was trying to balance the anger and the confusion of love. On the one hand, work, on the other hand, emotions. One day, Sarah texted Adam, "I don't want to be with him. I just want you." Adam's heart began to race, but his confidence was extremely weakened. "Don't leave me, we have to be real this time," he said. One night, Sarah came to Adam's house. As they held each other, the emptiness inside them suddenly filled. Adam took Sarah's hand. "Together we can get out of this," he said. But the man began to follow them. It was no longer just an encounter. It had become a struggle. Adam would do everything he could to protect Sarah. Finally, a confrontation took place. When the man appeared on the doorstep, Adam pushed aside his anger and stood boldly in front of him. "Sarah will stay with me. This time I will stop you," he said. In that moment, everything changed. Sarah came to Adam and whispered, "Don't leave me." The battle inside her was coming to a conclusion. Adam took a deep breath and said, "This is where it ends." And in that moment, beyond all that had happened, they were determined to rebuild their own lives. Adam had risked everything to protect Sarah. As he stood in the doorway, anger and fear mingled inside him. "What are you doing here?" Adam called out, his voice trembling but determined. With a wry smile, the man said, "You never knew me, Adam. But you will never see Sarah again. These words made Adam's nerves tense. Sarah came closer to Adam, her eyes full. Don't leave me. Please, she said, her voice soft, but there was determination in it. Adam took Sarah's hand. I will be with you. I will put an end to this, he replied. He was full of fears and uncertainties, but he was determined to fight to be with Sarah. The man stepped forward, smiling. If you want to put an end to this, I have to leave you here, he said. At that moment, many scenarios flashed through Adam's mind. He had to overcome his own limitations. This is not a game, Adam exclaimed, hysterical. You can't interfere in my life. Sarah stays with me. There was a threat in that man's eyes. Is that so? Then get ready to fight, Adam. I love playing with you. Adam turned to Sarah. I have to protect you. We'll get through this together. War was inevitable. Standing close to each other, they faced each other. The man stood next to Sarah, reassuring her. When he took a step closer, she knew it was time to release the anger inside her. Suddenly, he ran towards her. The man reacted with his reflexes and swung his fist. A fight broke out between the two men. As the punches flew, Sarah stepped back. There was fear in her, but being with Adam gave her strength. As the fight continued, Adam had only one thought in his mind: protecting Sarah. With each punch, he felt how strong the bond between them was. After a while, Adam knocked the man down. As his chest rose and fell violently, Sarah approached him. Are you okay? She asked in a voice full of fear. Yes, but this has to end here, Adam said, panting. We can't go through this again. Sarah said, her eyes full of tears, I know, but I'm still under his influence. He tried to leave me, but I want to be with you. He took her hand. Then we must be strong together. We won't let this man into our lives. From that moment on, Adam and Sarah decided to rebuild their relationship. Their difficulties had brought them closer together. They began to trust each other more. Adam focused on his work and Sarah continued her career. However, they both fought together to erase the traces of the past. Over time, Sarah completely distanced herself from the man. He, too, focused on his work, successfully completing his latter projects. As the two of them rebuilt their lives, they learned to face the shadows of the past. One evening, they prepared a nice dinner together. Adam looked at Sarah and said, We trust each other now, don't we? Yes, we can handle anything, Sarah replied with a smile. They both felt free from the burden of the past. They were now in complete control of their lives. When Adam got a big order for a staircase project, Sarah got a promotion at work. The two began to achieve success both personally and professionally. Together they overcame difficulties and strengthened their relationship. One day, Sarah announced to Adam that she was planning a surprise trip. We should go on a vacation together, she said. It's a great opportunity to refresh ourselves. Adam loved the idea. That would be great. Together we can overcome anything, he replied. With love and trust in each other, they were determined to overcome every challenge that life brought. They had put the dark days of the past behind them and looked to the future with hope. The vacation plans heralded a new beginning for Adam and Sarah. Previous hardships had made them stronger. Now, this time together was an opportunity to deepen their bond even more. A few weeks later, they were excited as they prepared for the vacation. Adam was planning something special to make Sarah feel his love for her every moment. They were both on the verge of turning over a new leaf. When the day of the vacation arrived, there was hope and excitement in their eyes. They were going to a beautiful resort by the sea. In nature, they would have the chance to focus only on each other. The days they spent in the resort helped them rediscover their love for each other. They took walks on the beach, ate in nice restaurants in the evenings, and talked about their dreams while watching the sunset. You should always make me feel like this, Sarah said one evening as they watched the sunset on the beach. I just want to be filled with peace and happiness. He took her hand. I will always do that, he replied. We should be together every moment of our lives. These words warmed Sarah's heart. The love she felt for Adam grew inside her once more. They were both determined to put the painful memories of the past behind them. At the end of their vacation, they promised each other again. Together we will overcome everything, they said. When they returned home, they felt that their relationship was stronger. But the traces of the past were not completely erased. One day, Adam came across a project at work that mentioned his name. He felt uneasy again. He felt stronger now that Sarah was by his side. But the thoughts still lingered in his head. "Don't think about him," Sarah said when she realized. "I want to be with you, we've done it, we've learned to fight together." The man was encouraged by Sarah's words. But one day, the man reappeared. He appeared in front of her at a business meeting. When Adam locked eyes with him, the anger rose up inside him again. "What are you doing here?" he asked, his voice harsh. "I came to follow you. I want to win Sarah back," he said, smiling. The man felt the battle inside him begin again. Sarah stood beside him and cried out, "Let me go." In that moment, Adam was determined to leave all his past memories behind and fight to protect Sarah. After the meeting, Adam had a talk with Sarah. "We need to resolve this situation once and for all. I'm not going to let it go," he said. Sarah said, "I know, but it's hard for me too." "We have to get rid of his influence completely," Sarah replied. Adam once again expressed his love for her. "Together we can overcome everything. I want to be with you. I'm with you every moment of my life."